Morning, dear hearts. We are review lesson 57 this morning. Please subscribe. And today's lessons review, take us from being a prisoner to freedom. So the first lesson we are reviewing is I am not a victim of the world I see. This lesson talks about our chains are loosened, but I have placed myself in a prison. Here's my recognition. That prison door, oh, it's open. I can leave. I can leave anytime I want to. But I have chosen to stay there. I have chosen to stay and become as a prisoner. And how have I done that? Well, I've done it with my insane thoughts. I've done it with the way that I have chosen to view this world. And I have chosen to view this world in an upside down, insane way that has placed me in a jail cell, that has put chains around me and has kept me small. But I can choose to leave that because I am not a victim of the world I see. The second lesson, it reinforces that by saying, I have invented the world I see. Oh yeah, I've invented this. So if I've invented it, can't I uninvent it? Can I not change it? Well, of course I can, because a child of God is not meant to be in prison. This is not what God wants for his children. So if I am choosing to be in a prison, it is because I think I deserve to be there. And in order to see differently, I must change from my insane thoughts into a way of seeing and thinking the way God would want me to. So that leads us directly to, there's another way of looking at the world. I'm currently seeing this world upside down. We have established that. This is reminiscent of lesson 3, as other lessons have been as well, that I do not understand what anything is for. I do not understand what this world is for. I do not understand why I'm in this world. I'm not clear on meaning and purpose at this time. So being unclear, unsure, I have allowed myself to become a prisoner of my false thoughts. But this lesson, it tells us that yes, everything is upside down. And I see the world as a prison for God's Son, but that's because I am misinterpreting everything. I even see love as fear and fear as love in my insanity. Now, the fourth lesson that we are reviewing is the shift. So this is the shift lesson, that the first 3 lessons have all been about the belief in being in a prison. This lesson starts our prison break. So actually, the review is all about a prison break. I go from being a prisoner to freedom. So the fourth lesson that we are reviewing is, I could see peace instead of this. What a thought, what a concept. I can actually leave this prison cell that I have made. The door is open, my chains are loosened. Why am I staying there? Because I wasn't sure about it. And instead of realizing that this world is meant to be a place of freedom for me, I thought erroneously that it was a place for me to be imprisoned, a place to keep me small. This lesson says, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up. And we'll remember that when we get to lesson 76 a while from now, but sooner than you think, I'm sure of it. So when I realize that I can have freedom instead of the laws, the rules, not laws, the rules that I've made up, then I can understand that instead of war upon myself and everything else, I can have and see and be in peace. And then the 5th lesson that we end with today is our prison break. We are out of jail now. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. This lesson is reinforcing and teaching and showing us that peace is a part of who we are. It is deep within us, and it stays there no matter what seems to be happening on the outside. That peace stays within me. And now when I use that peace, I'm looking on this world through the eyes of forgiveness, and all that I will see coming back to me is indeed more forgiveness. And encased within the forgiveness is the peace, is the joy, is the love of God. So this is the recognition that indeed my mind is part of God's, because these are all attributes within his mind. Now the last line of this says, I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me. As many of you know, I love it when the Course refers to all living things. This is an inclusive Course. Nothing is left out. Nothing is left outside of the love of God. And as long as I decide to place anything in servitude, in prison, outside of this all-inclusive love of God, then I am placing them in a cage of judgment, and I'm putting myself there as well, because I would need to be there to watch over them to be sure they don't escape. When I realize that all living things are loved by God equally, completely, eternally, and that I am one with them, then I will not give any of them less regard of one for the other. I too will love and respect every living thing equally. And this is when I will truly know that my mind is part of God's, and I am very holy. So that's it for today. I hope this helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please be here tomorrow, and we'll see what our word for the day is. Namaste.